guys, welcome to another Create a Card. Today I'm going to be making a card using some paint, and it's a Christmas theme because I'm trying to get my Christmas cards done early, so hopefully that'll be an inspiration to you guys. And I'm going to be doing a standard size card using some Ippity stamps. The first stamp set I want to show you is the Music of My Heart. I'm going to be using this music background stamp, and then I'm also going to be using this stamp set, the Season of Joy, and I'll be using one of these sentiments. I'm not really sure yet which one will fit on the card. So first thing I want to show you is how I use paint on my project. I have some chipboard pieces here. It's a punch from EK Success, and I just punched it out of some really thin chipboard. And I actually got this chipboard from a back of a scrapbook pad, something similar to this. It was actually a 12 by 12 pad, so it's different, but it's basically the same thing. I save these and then I can use them later on projects. And I'm using the Making Memories paint here, and I'm just putting it on an acrylic block. That way it's easy to clean up later. And this foam brush came with the paint, and I'm just going to be painting these on and doing 2 coats. Okay, so here's my card base. It's by Basil paper, and it's a standard size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have already embossed it using this Cuttlebug embossing folder, seeing spots. It's a larger dot, so I like that. And let's see, where do we want to start? I'm going to go ahead and put this aside and grab my little chipboard pieces that I made earlier with the paint. I let them dry, so now they're ready to go. Some scrap paper here, and I'm going to grab some removable adhesive to adhere these chipboard pieces down. I'm going to be doing stamping on them, and by putting them down with some removable adhesive, it keeps them in place as I'm stamping. So now I have my pieces down, and I'm just going to grab some VersaFine black ink and ink up my stamp here. Inking that up really good. And I made sure my pieces were smaller than my stamp. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building the front of the card here. I have a little strip of black paper that I'm going to be punching out with my Fiskars border punch. Just lining that up, and I'll punch that all the way across. Now I know I'm going to be rounding some corners, so I'm going to grab my corner chomper and just round these corners. The craft paper I used the 1/2 inch, and on this little black piece I used the 1/4 inch. And now I want to tie these ornaments onto the front of this little piece of paper, or what I'm going to be matting on the front. So I'm just taking a pencil and marking where I want to punch my holes, and now I'm going back and marking where I want to punch the hole in my ornament. And the first thing I grabbed was my hole punch, which worked out good for one hole. It could only reach one side. So I ended up having to put that aside and grabbing my paper piercer and just piercing the other 2 holes. And now I'm just threading some string through all the holes and over the top. Sorry, my camera was really placed horribly in this one. And now I'm just threading on each of the ornaments and tying a knot. And then I finished off each one with a bow. Okay, so here I grabbed my Stamp-A-Majig so I could place my Merry Christmas saying where I wanted it on my card. Probably should have done this first, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead, but it worked out. So I placed my Stamp-A-Majig first, and then now I grab my stamp and my ink and I ink it up and put it right where I want it. Okay, so now we're just going to build the front of this card, and I'm going to grab some tape adhesive and glue down this black strip. And next comes my ornament square. Looks like I got that black strip a little too high. I might move that down. Okay, that looks good. Let's just glue this down. Now I'm not doing any kind of foam adhesive because probably this card is going to get mailed, so I don't want it very bulky. I've noticed some of my cards are getting a little too bulky to go in the mail. So I'm keeping it pretty flat. I'm just going to trim off this little black piece here to match the side of the card. And the last thing I want to add is some ribbon. I believe this is some American Crafts ribbon. It comes in a, I don't know, I think it's a 6-pack. Just going to tie this down at the bottom here. And of course the last thing I want to do is to round my corners. I'm just going to grab my corner chomper again and use the 1/2 inch side. And I think I'm going to go ahead and round 3 of these corners and leave this top edge straight. Oh, one more thing, I wanted to add a little bit of faux stitching. Okay, and that does it for today's Create a Card, bringing a little Christmas into August. I hope you enjoyed today's card, and thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye.